From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordo, and this is your News 8 Daily for Tuesday, September 2nd. It is a beautiful start to the day. I know it feels like a Monday, but it's going to be nice out there after a stunning holiday weekend. It's going to be in the mid-60s this morning, get up to the lower 80s with lots of sunshine. Tomorrow, we're going to bring in those clouds, though, and get ready. Rain is on the way this week. Police are asking for help as they try to figure out how the body of a newborn ended up in Brookside Park in Indianapolis. IMPD says someone passing by found the body yesterday afternoon in a wooded part of the park. Detectives say it was a boy, likely less than 1 day old. They are urging anyone who might know anything to please reach out to police. Authorities are also using the case to remind everyone about Indiana's safe haven law. It allows the parent of a newborn to surrender the child to a hospital, emergency worker, or baby box without fear of prosecution. The Department of Child Services then takes custody of the child. Protesters used Labor Day to demand better wages. Organizers called the rallies Workers Over Billionaires. People took to the streets across the country. There were protests in Boston, Iowa, Seattle, Chicago. Here in Indianapolis, the demonstration was outside the State House. News 8's Malia Van Ostrand was there. She spoke with some of the protesters about what's driving their fight.
Organizers say it's about giving everyday people the chance to speak up in their own words about the challenges they face on the job or the future of the workforce. More than 24 protests happened statewide, with one of the largest in downtown Indianapolis at the State House.
We're not going to be quiet. We're going to be resistant. You know, I'm a child of the 60s, so I know how to protest.
The demonstration drew people of all ages, and it was organized by Indy Resists and Indiana 50501, organizations that support peaceful protests regarding justice, equality, and human rights. Many protesters say they want people to have fair wages, more diversity in the workplace, and safer working environments. Others say they're advocating for basic human rights in the state.
I had to see a lot of young people out here protesting because this is going to affect them. I may not be here when the damage is done. But when this man is gone, these kids will have to live with the damage.
Alexander Hardy plans to run in the May Democratic primary election for Indiana's 6th congressional district. He led the protests and said he wants every voice to be heard.
We want to bring rights back to the people and fix things like our minimum basic roads and the cuts being made to hospitals and local health care, and making sure that people get every dollar that they've already paid for.
Organizers say the demonstrations are just the beginning of a larger push to improve both working and political conditions across Indiana.
If I can help one person feel confident with being able to vote the way that they want without fear of persecution or that it's going to be gerrymandered, then I've done my job.
At the State House, I'm Malia Van Ostrand for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
A demonstration on Monument Circle aimed to show all that hate has no place in the city. News 8's Raina Revel takes us to the anti-Nazi protest.
Signs reading, "Say no to fascism, Nazis, and KKK," and "I hate Indiana Nazis" lined the circle as chants echoed downtown. Community members say they are standing up for peace after a white nationalist group marched through the same spot earlier this summer.
I mean, the Daily Stormer, a white supremacist group that has forums, is based in Indianapolis. I mean, this is something that goes back centuries in Indianapolis, and I think that the march is not significant in a escalation of their presence, as in there's not more Nazis around, they're just feeling emboldened, they're feeling real cozy in Indianapolis all of a sudden.
This protest was put together over the past week. A handful of people carried guns, a reference to the weapons the pro-Nazi protesters had carried, but most appeared unarmed. Jesse Curley, a speaker, said the idea of using the Second Amendment was not popular, but said it represents the right to protect themselves from anyone with bad intentions.
While everybody, including Nazis, can march around with guns on their chests, okay, we will do that too, and we'll say you're not welcome here. So to me, I think it's a natural progression in the lack of response we've seen from other institutions, the actual checks and balances that we all learned about in Schoolhouse Rock. That is the reason why we're showing up here today.
A family of 4 joined the protest. Parents Andrew Boddicker and Stephanie Piercefield wore firearms, saying it was a symbolic response to the earlier Nazi march and a show of support for marginalized communities.
Hopefully people know that goodness still exists and hate is not going to, overcome that. And I think people need to, fight in different ways, and this is kind of our way. I mean, we have 2 children, and we don't want the world to be that way for them. So this is a kind of our way of showing that.
I'm Raina Revel for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Leaders in Beech Grove start taking on a tough task today, shaping the next budget with far fewer dollars than the past. City officials say they could have to make dramatic cuts to city services. News 8's Hernan Gutierrez explains how this is tied to lawmakers' action earlier this year.
This is a direct result of the property tax overhaul by Governor Mike Braun and legislative Republicans. The nonpartisan Legislative Services Agency estimated it would cost Beech Grove a total of $2.5 million in revenue between 2026 and 2028. But at last month's council meeting, Beech Grove's financial advisor says the property tax cuts, plus a change in how taxes are assessed, mean the city could lose $3 million a year or more starting next year. This comes as last month the Beech Grove Council voted to increase sewer and stormwater fees by just over $11 a month. That vote was to make up for a projected $1.7 million shortfall for the city-owned utility. Senate Bill 1 is designed to give property tax relief to homeowners, but it will significantly reduce property tax revenue for cities and towns across the state. Last week, Carmel's mayor said that they can expect to lose as much as $38 million through 2030. We'll hear more from her coming up later this morning on Daybreak. Tonight's Beech Grove Common Council meeting is scheduled to start at 7 p.m. According to the agenda, they will not be voting on a final budget at this month's meeting. In the newsroom, I'm Hernan Gutierrez, Wish TV and WishTV.com.
New this morning, authorities in Afghanistan now say at least 1,400 people are dead after an earthquake and at least 3,000 are hurt. The new update within this morning adds about 600 deaths to the count. The 6.0 magnitude quake hit late on Sunday in the Kunar province, the eastern part of the country. Today, rescue crews are scouring the mountain terrain looking for survivors and more of the dead. A rebel group that controls Darfur region of Sudan says that the landslide there wiped out a village, killing up to 1,000 people. The Sudan Liberation Movement Army says that it happened Sunday in the western mountain region after days of heavy rain. The group says the village was leveled to the ground. They're asking the UN, United Nations, and international aid groups for help. Police in Houston, Texas say an 11-year-old boy is dead after a prank went terribly wrong. Ivan Rodriguez explains how the game of Ding Dong Ditch ended in deadly gunfire.
An 11-year-old boy and several other kids were ringing doorbells and then running from homes in an East Houston neighborhood Saturday night. Just before 11 p.m., police say someone came out of one of those houses and chased after them, according to a witness.
They were playing a game of Ding Dong Ditch, and at which point the person inside that house came out and shot.
The 11-year-old was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead Sunday, according to police. Video from the scene shows a person walking out of a home with their hands in the air. A person was detained for questioning and has since been released, police say. Investigators are reviewing surveillance video and working with the Harris County District Attorney's Office on possible charges. Some neighbors in the area are still in shock.
You don't go knocking on people's doors because of people do strange things.
Detective Michael Cass with the Houston Police Department says the suspect will likely face a murder charge since the death does not appear to involve self-defense and the shooting, quote, wasn't close to the house, according to KHOU. He's asking parents to keep a closer eye on their children to prevent this social media trend from turning deadly.
Just be more cautious of the times we're living in now.
In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
President Trump says he will award the former New York City mayor and his former personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Trump made the announcement on social media 2 days after his longtime political ally suffered serious injuries in a car crash in New Hampshire. Giuliani was once referred to as America's mayor for how he led New York City after the 9/11 terror attacks. Courts later sanctioned and disbarred him for spreading lies about Trump's loss in the 2020 election. Here, sports now. The Indiana Fever just got a little help in their hopes of making the playoffs as they entered Monday scrambling to hold on to the number 8 seed in the playoffs. Then last night, number 7 seed Seattle lost, dropping a spot and boosting Indiana. Fever play Phoenix tonight on the road, 10 o'clock tip-off. Team says Caitlin Clark is out again. Tyrese Haliburton has taken an important step in his recovery from his Achilles tendon surgery. Last seen strolling on the court with an orthopedic boot. It was last week at a youth camp. This week, he's putting up shots with no boot in sight. Haliburton posted a video on social media. You can see it on wishtv.com. Shows the shoot-around at the Pacers practice facility. Pacers say Haliburton will likely miss the upcoming season. The Powerball jackpot is up to $1.3 billion after no one matched last night's winning numbers. There's been no jackpot winner since May 31st. It's now the 5th largest prize in Powerball history. The next drawing is tomorrow night. Powerball says the odds of winning are 1 in 292 million. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and wishtv.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.